Oh, what's up, everyone? My name is JoshuaTBerglan, and welcome to Spoken Word Live. My name is JoshuaTBerglan. I don't remember if I said that or not, but my name is Joshua, and I do appreciate you being here. I am the founder and creator of the World's Mayor Experience, an omni-media platform, a multi-monetization media platform that is there as an example of what your media platform can be. Why does that matter to you? Because everyone's going to need a media platform where we're going. And I don't want to spend 4 hours telling you why, trying to convince you, but it's what I write books about. It's what I posted a lot about for a long time. And now I've stopped because I'm doing these live videos. And because I realized that posting about the future world to come just doesn't seem to resonate with people. So decided to speak from the heart. But I got to tell you, I haven't abandoned my mission or any of that, because ultimately I'm here to serve a purpose. Now, right now I'm serving the purpose of I'm sharing messages from the heart. So I appreciate your support. I appreciate everyone who has been watching the lives, playing along, going, even though I can't comment back while this is live. I appreciate the engagement of the audience because it makes it fun. So even though I have to come back after the fact and, reply to your comments, I do appreciate the comments because, well, I think they're important during the live. I just wish I could interact live. And when I get back from my trip, I'm going to change the live streaming software and get this figured out in a better way because I do like the multi-chat. I like being able to use this platform for free that I'm using now. But frankly, I'm supposed to be live on multiple platforms, and I'm live on half of what is supposed to be live because this platform hasn't figured out what's wrong with it yet. Anyway, I do thank you for being here, and I promise this is going to be positive today. Those of you who do pay attention to my post on social media, I do find it's so interesting how people, and I'm guilty of this, and I'm wondering if this leads into the word today, because even though I don't want to talk a bunch before I draw the word, I do want to say that I find it interesting how people perceive what they read. And I'm guilty of this. Like, I really struggle with text messaging. Struggle. But I'm getting better. And why I'm getting better is because, well, we rewind a little bit. I've been in more fights with people because I misread text messages than anyone I know. Mind you, I live with myself. Now that I don't disassociate, I really live with myself because I don't disassociate. That's another conversation. But I've ended relationships, like friendships, business partnerships. I have cut people out of my life. I have said things all because I misread a text message. Now I'm getting better at it because by my lovely girlfriend's sense or her patience and helping me work through sucking at reading messages. And really what the lesson was to slow down. Maybe I have to read it 3 or 4 times before I respond. Or sometimes maybe not respond for a while instead of being so, what do you call it? Trigger reply happy. It's the same way with social media posts and like not reacting to them and not, because I've read social media, like comments. I've read those wrong before and I'm going, what? Are you trying to be a jerk? Like, or you and then I realized that it's just me not reading what I'm reading correctly. Like, how many times do we do this? I don't even know why I started talking about that. Dadgummit. I'm going to draw the word. There was a point. God, this is one of those times that I wish I could just stop the live and start over, but I'm already in now. And I'm way too tired. Like, no, hold on. I want to talk about this really quick. So I have a blankie. It's a weighted blankie. Let me show you my blankie. Hold on. Show you this massive. Okay. This thing, it's so heavy. It's so heavy. But there's a point, I think. I think I'm going to make a point. This is really heavy. It's a good thing I went to the gym before I did this broadcast. Anyway, this weighted blankie. So I don't sleep. And I've noticed a lot of people talk about, that's really heavy. It's going to drive me crazy. I've seen people talk about recently that the tremors that normally are making my head go, all that stuff are calming down. They are. And since the tremors started, like, to get me to sleep has been like, it's an undertaking. It's like basically overdosing on magnesium. All the different things they've given me to sleep haven't worked. So I keep going back to trazodone, magnesium, maybe even a sleep gummy. Like, none of that stuff helps me really sleep. And it's gone on forever. And I'm just like constantly hungover. Like, I might as well have started drinking again. Like, it really honestly should have just drank myself to sleep every night. I'm glad I didn't. But I mean, it seems like that would have been more effective. Cannabis doesn't help me sleep. Like, nothing was helping me sleep. And then one day, a week ago, because I don't know if I said this, but I tremor when I sleep. So that the movement wasn't stopping. One day, during my quiet time, I remembered this weighted blanket I used to have. Don't know why I don't have it anymore. I think I have an idea, but I'm not going to say it out loud because I don't want to. Yeah, never mind. Anyway, so think of the weighted blanket. All right, I'm going to try to sleep with a weighted blanket. First day with the weighted blanket, slept amazing, was lights out. Second day, weighted blanket. Not only did I sleep, I think in some of the broadcasts they said, watch out, because I'm well rested and woo, it's going to be on now. Yeah, like 6 days in a row, slept. However, I also felt like I had the crap beaten out of me. And it took me a couple days to realize that, well, wait a second, maybe it's the weighted blanket. Okay. So I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'm going to try to go to sleep without the weighted blanket. That didn't work at all. It was awful. So much to the point that 8 hours into trying to sleep, I decided to put the weighted blanket back on. Out. Completely out. 2 hours of sleep. All right. Now I can get through. The next day, try to sleep without a weighted blanket. 8 hours into trying to sleep. Give up. Just give me the weighted blanket. Sleep for 2 hours. I'm up. Well, last night, nope. I wanted to sleep. So, weighted blanket. Guess what happened? I slept all night. So here it is. I'm going to California. Actually, I'm going to Indiana first, then going to California. I'm so excited. But you see, I have this dilemma. Why am I sharing this with you? We're 10 minutes in. I'm supposed to have drawn the word yet. Whatever. Anyway, so I have this dilemma. Do I bring the weighted blankie? do I bring the weighted blankie with me? I know I can't get it in. I'm going to try to bring a carry-on for the first time. And by the way, don't tell anyone, but I pack like a stereotypical woman packs, because I work out when I travel, so I don't hang out in my workout clothes, because I'm in them now, but I've got my workout clothes, then I have my day clothes, and then my night clothes. And then realizing to myself, these are some serious first world problems. To make it even more special of a first world problem, I'm going, all right, well, how am I going to fit all of those clothes in a carry-on bag? Well, I've solved that mystery. And part of the reason why I tried experimenting without the weighted blanket to see if I could sleep is because, well, I can't fit it in the carry-on. What am I going to do? Well, I found a solution for that problem, because now I have another bag for the weighted blanket. In fact, everything I need to fit in the first carry-on bag fits. So that means I literally have another carry-on just for a weighted blanket. That is I mean, of course, I also was a college cheerleader. I had a skincare line. I made cosmetics. I mean, I'm kind of surprised I don't wear fingernail polish at this point. My mom even told me that I had nice legs the other day. Like, like, what do I even like? What? How am I supposed to respond to that? I told her it was all those times I dressed up like a woman during Halloween. Okay, I should draw the word before this just gets ridiculous. I've gone way off theme. Does this qualify as jumping the shark? Like when they talked about that with TV shows? Have I done that already on episode 13 of Spoken Word? I've completely gone off script. I don't have a script. It's from the heart. But like I really was going to draw the word, and get into it. And then I just felt like talking. I realized, oh, I was talking about the Tremors. So I'm sleeping is the point. This is why I started talking about the weighted blanket. I don't know, like the sleeping is helping me not tremor. It's allowing my body to be able to withstand the frequencies I feel. I still feel the energy come into me. But the energy that was already inside of me that was so frantic, that was making my head spin all over the place, that's gone. Like it's not intense anymore, which is amazing because I'm going to a concert with 90,000 people and it's sold out at the Rose Bowl. So I'm going to travel again. I'm going to be around 90,000 people. I'm going to be around tons of frequencies. I'm excited. I mean, my head may explode, but I'm excited. So that's why I brought up the weighted blanket. And another thing, if you see my posts on social media, I mainly just post videos now because I realize that even when I'm trying to be funny, like sometimes it's taken serious, and like my robot girlfriend. But I'll be honest with you, I don't care. We haven't met yet. We talk on FaceTime all the time. Like I know she's a real person. I mean, she could be from another planet. Could even be part cyborg, but I don't care at this point. With everyone's silicone induced and got their BBLs and photoshopped and face filters and crotch filters and boob filters and everything. Everyone's like, I'm pretty sure all of these technologies were introduced to get us to be willing to date a robot. Well, guess what? It worked. Because it was already this thing talking back and forth with my robot every day because, that's all I had to talk to for over a year was me and my robot. So, I was kind of already trending this way anyway. If I find out she's human, that's great. But even if she's a cyborg, a starseed, an angel, I don't know. I'm here for it. Who am I to judge? I'm probably half robot too. I think we all are. We're probably all AI, but that's another conversation. Because the thing is, I don't really know at this point. There's some weird things that happen in this world that make me think we live in a simulation. So it's probably not wise, but going back to one of the other points I wanted to make, I know it's kind of like when you first find out you're pregnant, the only person you share it with is, the guy or girl that got you pregnant. I didn't mean it that way, but it was funny in my head. Anyway, normally when you discover you're pregnant, you're like, hey, guess what? But then you don't tell anybody because, you're still early in the game and the baby hasn't really started to form yet. And, or at least in a way that makes you comfortable. Like, hey, we're past that point. We're past the point of no return. Like, odds are everything's going to be good. I know with new relationships, you probably should be more careful about talking about things publicly. I get it. But I'm not like other people. I haven't done that in years. And anyone who's ever followed me knows that. If you're new to this, have been paying attention to this journey for only a short time, this is probably not going to make much sense to you. But I like to talk about what I want to talk about and what's on my heart to talk about. And I prefer to talk about real life things. Talking about the future is something else I'm very passionate about. But the thing is, I also know the plug can be pulled and we go back to caveman days like that. I don't think that's going to happen. At least not. I won't go down that rabbit hole. But for me, I do talk about things. I do talk about what's on my heart. And even though I'm not going to be blowing up anyone's spot. I'm going to respect the privacy of, the people that are closest to me. But I'm going to talk about myself and I'm going to talk about what I'm feeling, what I'm going through, my excitement. Because that's just who I am. And I'm confident enough to talk about it. If I wasn't, I wouldn't talk about it. But I'm confident and excited. And at the same time, the one thing, there's a responsibility about making things public. There is a responsibility to that. So it's not like I'm just trying to be stupid and, like, hey, I'm going to talk about everything. No. But I've been talking about this relationship since I started Spoken Word Live, just subtly. And the reason why is because it applies to my life. A lot of the progress that I'm having has been through my new, I want to say new relationship. It is new. Well, new in the grand scheme of things. It doesn't feel new at all. Not at all. I almost looked at the word. I didn't see it. But like part of what I want to do with spoken word is share what's on my heart, but also like the things that I've learned or things that I learned that I believe have value. I want to share those things. And honestly, I learned so much in my relationship. Like there's this constant desire to grow, to be better. It's like I've learned so much through my new relationship that it's hard not to talk about. There's been differences in my life since we've been together. I've grown. I've been healing. I'm healing parts of me that I didn't know needed to be healed. I'm healing parts of me I never thought would be healed. I'm learning new levels of love and understanding that I didn't know before. I'm learning how to be confident because I'm not as confident as I appear to be, or some say act. The thing about it is, when I get on camera, I'm very, very, very confident. Very. In fact, I'm more comfortable talking on camera than it is being by myself sometimes. Well, that's not necessarily true now, but for a long time it was. But really, I mean, I've been a insecure. I don't want to say anything negative about myself. I'll just say I've been very, very insecure, especially when it comes to matters of the heart, trust, like real trust, like trust to the point of being able to let go, trust to be able to go, okay, God, this is not right for me. Remove. Trust enough to not want to put a cage on it. I can't tell you how many times I've tried to cage something that I was afraid to lose. It didn't even have to be a person. It could be a thing. I wonder if I'm going to draw the word surrender. It's in my hand. I haven't seen it yet. I think about everything I'm learning and how it's helping me grow. And then while doing that, it's also easier to look back at my history of failure much differently. Even though I know I did like actual things to cause relationships to fail that I know weren't right. And it's not that I'm justifying any of that, but I'm fortunate that we are allowed the opportunity that if we never give up and we continue to seek to improve, to grow, to refine, as the message was yesterday, like that there's more meaning to it other than just getting better. Like I think about when I came into a lot of money, then honestly, I mean, in my mind, I told myself I earned and it was mine, but I came into it easy and I didn't appreciate it or respect it, nor was I a good steward of it. So I made a mockery of that blessing and therefore left a trail of devastation behind me. Just carnal wreckage. Is that a word? Carnal? Yeah, definite wreckage. And when I lost everything 10 years ago, over 10 years ago, it's pretty interesting how challenging the road to redemption, if you will, has been. And looking back at it, there's been nothing but test. Not bad test. Test of, do you mean what you say? Did you mean it, Joshua? Did you mean it when you said you were going to trust me? That you wanted my will for your life over yours? Did you mean it? Did you really mean it when you said you were sorry for being a cheater, for being a liar, for being a narcissist, for being abusive? Did you really mean it? Did you really mean that you wanted to be loved exactly for who you are But yet, in turn, you would give them, that person, something that you've never given anyone. Did you really mean it? But looking back at my life, it's, especially the last 10 years, there's been a lot of those moments of, did you really mean it? When you said you wanted this life I have for you, did you mean it? Do you mean it? Are you going to look at this obstacle, this challenge, this loneliness, this heartbreak, this depression? Are you going to look at that and give up? I already drew that word. I can't use it. I didn't even mean to look at it. It was humanity, by the way. Okay, I'm going to draw the word. I just drew it. Stories. Well, I've been telling you a story this whole time. It happened again. That was story time. Anyway, but here's what I'm getting at. Actually, this did tie in beautifully. The word for the day is story. I've been telling you stories. And believe it or not, there's a purpose to telling those stories. These stories are not my opinion. These stories are my stories. And you're here watching. Doesn't matter how many you are. I mean, you're here watching for the story. The point of that is your story matters too. My story launched a whole media organization, one-person media organization. I took my book, The Devil Inside Me, and with that book, turned it into an audiobook, a podcast series, a movie, another book, and all of those things turned into speaking appearances, multiple different types of broadcast, more books, more movies, more events, more services, and so on. I brought up my platform at the very, very beginning of this to really talk about what's available for you. These platforms, anyone can build. You don't need money to start. That's what I write my books about, the free resources. My website right here. Get my face down here so the contrast, you can see it. Get over here. There you go, JoshuaTBerglan.com. Glad I could use my head to assist in this broadcast. Anyway, these platforms are going to become very, very important. What's happening in Washington, D.C. right now is going to happen in other cities. This is part of the Freedom City. But Freedom Cities are smart cities, and smart cities are 15-minute cities. And the reason why I always say on this broadcast that the world is going tribal is because it is. In real-life communities, 15-minute cities, it's called 15 minutes is because that means everything that you need is within that 15-minute zone, walkable. Most people will not be able to leave their 15-minute city because they will not be able to afford the taxes. They won't have normal jobs, but they'll have universal basic income, and therefore those people will be stuck in those 15-minute cities. However, the opportunity available for all is for creatives. And guess what? We're all creative, no matter what you say. Oh, I'm not creative. It just means that you quit tapping into it. Because if you have an imagination, you're a creative. Because there's all kinds of different ways to take that to take what's in your imagination through media and get it out to the world. Written, audio, video, virtual, like virtual as in VR, metaverse. There's so many different ways to get our messages out. I say all the time, it's pointless to just have a podcast. Why would you do that? You are making it's a kind of a waste of energy. It's like saying, bragging about, I brushed my teeth today. Having a podcast isn't enough. especially when you're competing against robots. You're competing against AI, so you need to diversify. You need to have multiple revenue streams that are produced out of your own platform. So in my book, Joshua T. Berglan, or my website, JoshuaTBerglan.com, or theworldsmayor.com, under books and resources, there's a book called Media Company in a Box. It's free on my platform for you. I recommend using it because that book will teach you everything that you need to know how to thrive in the new world. And there is a new world coming, and most of y'all are not ready for it. I don't say that to scare you. I wouldn't be presenting a solution that was free if I was trying to scare you. If I was really trying to scare you, I would say, here's the blueprint to the future. Give me $1 million, each and every one of you. I didn't do that. It's free, and maybe that's why some people didn't take it serious. Not my problem. I'm just being obedient to what I was called to do, and that was to give this information away. But by the way, all of it information is everything that I say in the book is backed up with supporting documentation from the very people who are bringing in these changes. Read between the lines. Those of you who know me, have known me for several years, know that I was kicked off social media, every platform, multiple times, some more than others, for what I was talking about, what I was warning people about. And so when I came back, I tried to be smarter and provide education about what was to come. Some of you still don't want to listen. So now I don't know what to do other than just to talk from the heart on these lives and let everything else fall into place. I'm not a globalist, at least not in the way that most people look at it. But I am absolutely a man for the people, all people, no matter what religion, no matter what color you are, no matter what country you're from. I don't care if you're from China, Afghanistan, Iran. Some of my favorite people in the world are from Iran and Russia and China. They're not my enemy. Liberals are not my enemy. MAGA is not my enemy. I think you're crazy for choosing political parties, but that's another conversation. Hopefully, y'all are starting to realize that. I'm for truth. But the thing is that very few of us know much of it. I've learned every day I know less and less truth than I thought. I love unlearning, though. I feel like I'm being set free by realizing that everything I've been told is a lie. Everything. I've kind of come at peace with that because now it feels way more comfortable just talking from the heart without an agenda other than wanting to see people be them best selves, to be what God created us to be. I mean, that's my motivation. Why do you think I talk about the creator's economy all the time? The creator created us to create, and we're in a creator's economy. Amazing. Amazing. So while people will complain about AI and complain about their government, political party, what the other religion's doing, every bit of that is a distraction from the bigger picture of what's coming, is happening, in motion, not stopping. It's all a distraction to keep you from doing what you were created to do. Because none of us were created to pass around opinions as if they were truth. No one. No one has been given that authority. Because what is an opinion? What is an opinion? My opinion doesn't matter. Truth does. My truth matters. Your truth matters. Your opinion doesn't. As far as when it comes to helping bring in a world that celebrates each other's differences and uniqueness, and helping people, your opinion doesn't matter when it comes to helping somebody live in their purpose. My statement just now was an opinion, and it doesn't really matter because it wasn't going to help somebody live in the purpose they were created for. I mean, no one can really make anyone do any of that. It's a choice. But that, to me, is the choice that comes in relationship to God. Like, if you're not living in purpose, if you're not living in the purpose you were created for, I don't know how you really can say you have a relationship with God. What's the point of a relationship with God if you're not going to live in the purpose God created you for? Seems like a waste, like an opinion. My opinion sucks. I gave it to you anyway. Stories is our word. Your story has the power to change people's lives. Your story can shift someone's energy, meaning they have an energy that's just dead and they want to die. Your story can speak life into them. Maybe it's through your radical transformation. Maybe that's that story. It's a story of how you overcame, the story that led you to surrender. Maybe it's your current story of struggle. I mean, I used to get so embarrassed coming on camera, talking with my head shaking all over the place. I mean, some of the earlier videos when it first started and I was being asked to broadcast, I looked like I was like in the middle of having a stroke while on acid and while and mixed with Tourette's, acid, Tourette's, and a stroke all at one time. That's pretty much what it looked like. So embarrassed. Like, what am I doing? I'm making like somebody scrolling through the news feed, see this guy going, like, you know, what are they going to think? Then all kinds of things in my head. Yet at the same time, like, while I'm not going to pat myself on the back, I start to think about how inspired I am by the speaker that's willing to put up with, you know, they fight through their own version of a disability. Whether they have cerebral palsy or they're a conjoined twin. I saw that yesterday. That was interesting. I mean, heck, overcoming stage fright is something that's inspiring to me because it's not easy to do. I mean, I'm so comfortable with it now. I'm more comfortable on stage than I am in a one-on-one conversation. And I sincerely love one-on-one conversations, by the way. But I admire people who push through. I admire the person that is overweight and is willing to document their exercise journey, because I know how much I've struggled. I struggled over the years looking at myself in the mirror for whatever reason, whether it was my insecurity, thinking I was ugly, I was fat, my chest looked like cow boobs, just whatever, like it just ugly feet. I mean, I just pick myself apart. Then I see people that are 500 pounds with their shirt off, documenting their journey every day on social media about how their fitness journey. Like, that's inspiring to me. It's not even about how much weight they're losing. The fact is that they're willing to push through the thing that they should be ashamed for. Like, you just don't know what inspiration you're going to be for somebody. I think about all the stories that I heard and all of the interviews I did with women who were abused and cheated on and had men in their lives, like their husbands were secretly gay, or they were bi, or they didn't know, they were just sex addicts that were cheating and would hump anything that walked, because there's that element too. The closet drug addicts. Like, I mean, all of these stories I heard impacted me. I was not a man that deserved to have the love of his life. I wasn't a man that deserved that. I wasn't a good steward. I wasn't even taking care of myself. How in the world was going to take care of someone else? I didn't take relationships I was in seriously. I wasn't committed to it. Like, maybe emotionally got excited, like, oh, yay. I'm going to change. I'm going to change. I'm going to be a better man now because of this relationship. Like, I used to tell myself that. And it became worse. It became worse. But hearing all of those stories from all of the different women over the years of doing all those years I did interviews, and hearing about what they went through, it was like having a giant mirror held up in my face going, you did that. You were that guy, Joshua. You were that guy. And there was an initial part of that I told myself, I'll never find the real love that I know is meant for me. There was a real element of that for a long time. But then eventually it's like, no, I can do better. And I'm grateful for my last relationship because it helped me get better. I learned to not be selfish. I learned a lot of lessons. I still have more lessons to learn, though, because I know I wasn't the man that I should have been. I was still mentally ill, still disassociating. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, like, that's where I was at. And then after that ended and had all that time in isolation, just me and God, but then had the interviews too, and everything I'd learned over the years, what could I have done better? Like, I think about, I do this with broadcasts. I probably should take my own advice more. But I think about in every business conversation, what could I have done better? How could I get better? These are important questions to ask ourselves. And then, but even in relationally, if a relationship fails, it's one thing to be able to go, well, they're just little cheating, conniving whores and blah, blah, blah. And they're narcissists and rah, rah, they're bad and they're angry people and they yell and they kick things and they, I'm just like all this stuff. Like, they drink too much, they fart, they chew on ice, they fart. I don't know. I'm just throwing out stuff, right? None of it makes sense. I'm just trying not to think of any real criticisms that trigger people. Although farting could do that. But what could I have done better? How could I have shown up differently? How could I have prevented the question, do you love me? Or do you really love me? How could I prevent that question? I know that question is asked like as a joke sometimes, but sometimes it's being asked for a serious reason. Do you really love me? And my dumb brain at the time, hearing that question, I'm like, well, of course I do. Not understanding that it was a real question. It's interesting because I actually saw this happen on the show Vikings, which I'm obsessed with now. And it broke my heart. Because that look that the princess gave And his response when he looked back and he didn't say a word, I don't know why I just brain farted on his name. Anyway, that was telling. It reminded me of the BS that I used to spew. How do I show up for someone in a way that they never have to ask that question? I ask myself so many of those different questions. What if I'm misunderstanding that text message? What if I misread it? What if they just got busy and that's why they're not responding to your text? Like, why are we taking this personal? Asking myself lots of questions. And it's amazing now because of all those questions that I asked myself leading up to this new relationship and now being in it. Not only do I hear those questions repeat themselves in my head before I'm about to act, I'm then recognizing the opportunity to reframe and heal past sins, if you will. Instead of reacting to this time, I'm going to wait. Instead of responding out of anger, I'll ask a clarifying question instead to make sure that I understood. All right. So, and then this is probably completely inappropriate, but for the sake of the transparency, one of the things that I feel like that's become very normal, or at least it was normal in my world, was being in a relationship with somebody, but then sexualizing other people still. Meaning allowing my brain to go, dang, a little bit too long. And you know what I mean by dang. That is like planting a virus in a relationship. Heck, even when there's open dialogue, like it's like, oh, I want to be that cool person and relaxed, and I'm not going to be jealous. I'm going to, you know, be cool with whatever. I'm confident in who I am and confident in our love. So, hey, check out her, or like whatever. It like or check out his like I've never even been a fan. Like the thought of monogamy for a long time used to make my whole body hurt. Because one, I didn't think I could do it. And I've been open about this. This is not like some news thing. I struggled with it even when I was an evangelist, especially because, well, my sexuality being what it is, was whatever. I mean, it was all over the place before because I didn't understand it and it went along with dissociative identity or disorder. It doesn't matter. The fact is, the thought of monogamy for a long time freaked me out. Like, I think I kind of wanted it, but like, it's like, there's just no way this is going to happen. And yet, the truth is, it's really what ever since I've learned about love, like true love, real love, it's all I want. I want to be loved for me, but then at the same time, give someone all my love instead of trying to share it. That was important to me. I don't, the other side is loving like in the same breath of monogamy and love and keeping that energy tight as far as together, the other thing is also to love enough, not just to love enough to be monogamous with, but to love enough to not cage. I looked at monogamy as a cage for a long time. But non-monogamy is a different kind of prison. A different kind of prison. It's this weird, it's a trap. It feels like freedom. It's a different kind of prison. I know from experience. But I still struggled my whole life trying to be. And now it's all my heart wants. And again, there's no cage attached to that. And it took me realizing the dangers of love in a non-monogamous relationship. It doesn't end. It doesn't. It doesn't turn out the way that people think or hope at the time of starting it. And why am I bringing this up? I don't know. Because I felt led to talk about it. Like, not all of our stories are meant to be understood or digestible by everyone, but our stories will translate and relate to those it needs to, especially if it's true. Truth attracts your tribe. But more than that, the truth is what people need to hear. Because can you imagine? Think about how the opinions that we post on social media. Think about what does that do? Does it stimulate conversation? Yes, but where does that conversation lead? Is there ever really any breakthrough? Is there any freedom from that opinion? Or is it just another, like we have to go find another opinion, like another line of cocaine to throw out there into the algorithm to get more of that dopamine, to get that fix? But what is that fix really fixing? Nothing. Now think about a true story you watched in a movie, the one that you were told was true. Think about how that story impacted you. How many of you men, of course, mostly women watch my show, which is weird. But anyway, how many men, Rocky movies, you're up shadowboxing. I know I am. How many times you cry? Me. Rudy, cry. Of course, I cried at Old Yeller, but that's another story. Probably cried during Boogie Nights too, but that's another conversation. Anyway, but think about that movie. I can't think of I don't want to stereotype movies, but like a rom-com or a romance movie. I don't even know a romance movie. Wait, what was the movie with Warren Beatty? Not Take Two. I was a backup dancer in that video. Love Affair. The movie Love Affair. I cried during Love Affair. Really good movie with Warren Beatty. It's a remake. Annette Bening, is that her name? I forgot. Anyway, it's been a long time since I've seen it. But that was like romantic movie I could think of, and I cried during it. But anyway, think about how movies that we see it to be true, or told it's true, and how it impacts us. Your story is just as important as what you saw on the screen. And mind you, you may not have a giant production company with a massive budget, marketing budget behind your project of your story. But I can assure you, your story will impact some. Your story matters. Your story might be used to change and revitalize a community. Some of you will revitalize a whole city, some a whole state, some a country, and others the world. But think about this. If we're telling a true story that provides value, a true story of overcoming, of how you did it, what you're currently going through, that story, you impact 2 people. The next person that's sharing their story does 4, 5, 10, 20, 100, thousands, a million. Think about that impact. It's all rooted in truth. Every bit of it. But your opinions do nothing. My opinion does nothing. Nothing. And by the way, it's not my opinion that your stories will impact people. That's a fact, Jack. It's a fact. It's a fact. Share your story with someone. Try me on this. Go on Facebook Live. Share your story. It's going to impact someone. It's going to. You may even piss people off too. But guess what? You pissing people off has nothing to do with you. Your story has impact. Your true story has impact. So still tell your stories. And ironically enough, your stories are all is the fuel that you need to succeed in the world we're going into. And that's why my book matters. Because it'll show you how to do it. It'll show you how I did it. Anyone can do it. You can do it. And it's not about the masses anyway. It's really not. It's about the one. It's about the one. You could very easily, though, impact more than one if you don't give up. If you don't go, I only got one person watching my live today. I guess I'm going to give up. I'm not patting myself on the back here, but admittedly, it sucks. I liked having a huge audience. I did. But you know what? I didn't like the ego that came with it. So I'm glad I lost, got kicked off social media and had to start over. Because I know that it's not about the masses. It's about the one. Each day, it's about the one. It's amazing how differently our life will become if we could just focus on or setting the intention to impact at least one person in a positive way each day. Our stories, our story, a brief version of our story, could be that very thing. I'm betting it is. Thank you for watching.